Hey, and welcome to the Matt Lexi show. How you doing, Matt? You good?
Hey, hello. Yeah, doing all right, thank you. Yeah, it's quite a nice evening, isn't it, Lexi? Yeah,
Oh,
great
it's
evening to do
daytime
this.
for me.
It's night time here as well. There you are. But yeah, what a great time to do a podcast this time of night, eh? Over
Yeah,
here.
what a time! What a time to be alive as well, eh?
Yes, agreed. Isn't it? Yeah, wonderful. Thanks for joining me
Awesome.
for this.
No, all good. So yeah, I just thought this is our little intro to podcast series that we're doing. So I'm Lexi Whiteside, and this is Matt Robinson. Matt, go ahead, tell us something interesting about yourself. Nothing boring on here.
Oh right, yeah. Something interesting about myself. Probably a good one for this one is just how I have travelled to a lot of countries around the world, and I have a bit of. I'm a bit of a geek when it comes to sort of this type of this type of topic. I'm not a very nice person to talk to because I bore people with this type of stuff. So yeah, that's pretty good. That's one about me. Just I'm a bit geeky and I travel a lot.
I don't think you're boring. I think it's the fountain of knowledge. I go to you and I'm like, oh, I need help, man.
At least it works.
It does. For myself, I love traveling. At the minute, I'm living in Canada, but originally from Chesterfield, so that's my home, and in Derbyshire, and I know that's where Matt's from as well.
It is.
Interesting fact about me, I just love music. I can geek out. My area that I love looking at is relationships, but we will be covering that at some point in the podcast
In the
series.
next episode.
And my friends will tell you I'll bore them to death on star signs as well. Not that I know a lot about them. I just chuck some random facts out from time to time.
Horoscopes.
Yeah. Mystic Meg here, you know.
That's it. That's it with the gold. What's it called? With the crystal ball.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, what do you do, Matt? Just so that listeners can kind of get an understanding of where you come from, what you do, and why are we doing this? Why are we doing this podcast right now?
A really good question. It's a bit of our mission, isn't it? I mean, I have a business, MR Coaching and Consultancy Limited, and people think the MR stands for Mister. I mean, I am a Mister at the end of the day, but it's actually MR for Matthew Robinson. So, I'm a coach and a consultant. I've coached all over the world. Some of the main ones are America and Australia, where I've led coaching roles and leadership roles, and I've actually helped a lot of people out too. The mission for me is to improve people's lives through positive lifestyle modification, and that's kind of what I'm here for as well, as part of this health, fitness, high performance, the music, the art, and the kind of leadership type of thing. Is just try and bring all my coaching expertise together with Lexi and try and help people and just basically geek out on this stuff and try and have a bit of fun with it rather than take it very serious. So that's kind of what we're here for. So do contact us if you need any help with anything regarding the above. Okay, over to you, Lexi.
For me, I'm like jack of all trades, master of none. I just like to give things a go. That's where I'm at. But it was actually my good friend Matthew that got me into this growth mindset and just looking into all of these different outlooks of life and just trying to change my life and outlook. So I started that journey in I think I watched Growth Day in 2020.
Oh, Brendan Bouchard's Growth Day, huh?
Yeah, I did.
That's
Was it
right.
2020 or 2021? I can't
I think
remember.
it was 2021.
It was 2021, yeah, after COVID had struck, because that did change everybody's life. But we're not going into COVID too much here.
Oh, we mentioned it like that. Yeah, we mentioned it. Only once.
Only once. So yeah, and for me, this podcast, I think it's just some of the knowledge. If I'd have known it sooner or came across it without having to research it, it'd be awesome. I think I don't know where my life would be, but I'm grateful for where it is now. But yeah,
it's transformative, isn't it? It is.
Yeah,
having the mindset can really help you to experience life in a much better light, if you will. So, or through a different lens. And I think it's important. That's why we started with the mindset. So I think it's a great foundation to build upon, isn't it? Eh? That's why we wanted to make it the number one priority before we go on. But this show, brought to you by me and Lexi, should hopefully go on for a long time to come. And it's our mission to serve you. It's not income over outcome; it's outcome over income. We just want to help people and improve people's lives through all the above, basically. I like Lexi's logo though. Isn't it cool behind her? Isn't it really good? I think it's better than mine. There you go. So good.
And
Yeah,
I'm just here for the ride. I'm just here for a bit of fun,
it is
really.
the journey. It's all about the journey, not the destination, isn't it? Yeah.
So yeah, should we head into our first podcast, which is Mindset May, and we are like literally at the end of May. So
We are the last day. Reflection time. I'm ready to go on to the to June, which will bring some interesting topics. Yeah.
I don't know about you guys like listening in, but I've had a really random May. I don't know about you, Matt. What's your kind of May been?
Oh, it has. We said we are going to finish this introduction, but blimey, it's been a bit of an obstacle course, hasn't it? I mean, you've had the injury that you've had with the knee injury. I've had my rolled ankle that's turned into a fractured metatarsal, or my fifth metatarsal. And we've both had to pivot and re-anchor ourselves. It's been a struggle, but we've suffered. We've come out on top. I'm ready to go into June, all guns blazing, with a fresh energy and a zest, aren't we?
Yes.
Yeah.
For sure.
Nice.
So yeah, Mindset May. Let's go for it, shall we? And
we're gonna go straight into it from here. Yeah, let's do it. Why not?
Yeah, let's do it.
I like it.
I'm getting into this, So
that's it.
Matt, you're, as we established in the intro, you're the fountain of knowledge. Okay, so when we say mindset, what do you think of? What would you say mindset is?
Yeah, and it's common for people to think to themselves, there's that many different mindsets. There's the sort of like military mindset, entrepreneurial mindset, there's the growth, the fixed mindset. There's so many different ones, but I think it's probably better just to simplify it based on a book I'm reading at the moment, which is the Winning Mindset by Professor Damien Hughes. And he talks about simplicity, keeping it simple. And to put that into context here, it's just growth and fixed. Cool. And they're the two. Okay, so I think that's how I would pinpoint it. But I know you're going to ask me a lot of questions about it, so don't.
Of course. Because I'm like, I mean, like if I were up until very recently and a lot of my Instagram posts and stuff, I'm like, mindset. You asked me what year,
it's
2
everywhere,
years,
isn't it? It's everywhere, isn't it?
But it is. But I'm like, what the hell is mindset? Like, what it actually is mindset? Like, I know there's different types of it, but what would you say mindset is?
Mindset is all about the way you respond to situations, and it's all about, when we talk about the fixed mindset, we talk about not able to change. Things are set in stone. We have the belief systems that we got brought up with, and it's a case of, well, this is how I am now, I can't change it, and this is how it's going to be. And I hate all these cliche sayings like, it is what it is. It's one of my worst ones. It is what it is. You can change it. You've just got to have the growth mindset to be able to believe it. And once you have that, you can transform it. It's like the law of attraction, really. I know I'm sure everybody's heard about that one before, but it's a bit like the law of attraction, and you manifest what you think of most of the time. And if that's negative, it's that fixed, you'll get fixed results. But like Albert Einstein would say that, don't expect to don't expect not to change something and get a different result. If you keep things the same, you'll get the same result every time. So be prepared to change. And that's where the growth mindset comes in. Actually, a lady called Carol Dweck is a person to look up. Do a bit of research on her. She talks about the growth mindset. She's a massive advocate of it, and I would definitely go there to look a bit more into it. But the growth mindset is all about wanting to. You said growth day, when personal development, self-development, bettering yourself, becoming the best version of yourself, or the organismic self, as they call it in therapy. Whereas the fixed mindset is, oh gosh, I can't do anything, and you kind of manifesting negative and then negative energy, and then you're stuck in the mud. So that's where I would go with it.
I feel like so with the fixed mindset for me, and it was a rhetoric that used to go off in my head all the time, and I still have to fight that a little bit, like, why is this happening to me again? Why? Like, I'm seeing the same patterns going over and over and over.
Precisely.
And that was the kickstart for me to really delve into all of this. And I'm a huge advocate of going for therapy and stuff like that. Because again, it unlocks different parts of your mind and stuff.
It does, but I think also a lady said it the other day on one of the podcasts I was listening to, and she says it's not that everybody needs a therapist. That's not necessarily the essential thing here. It's more that a lot of people would benefit from it. The benefits are huge, but you don't necessarily need one. It's just that if you use the therapist, you unlock, as you mentioned, your mind, the blind spots and everything else that comes with it, and you can really explore, what's in there, journaling, and you can really make some big breakthroughs and big discoveries, and you can't do that without doing that.
Well, I remember this like one time, and I remember we've spoken, and I used to say things like an opinion as a fact. So I'd be like, someone would be like, well, did they actually say that or think that about you? And I'd be like, yeah. And then the truth is, like, if you actually look at it and balance it and be like, actually, possibly no. It's just that that's how I'm viewing it, because I'm in a quite a fixed mindset at the time. Is everyone hates me, so anything that I can remotely look at and provide evidence to prove that, everyone hates me, you latch onto it. So
well, it's interesting you say that, because there's a model that can back that up, and I've said it many a time. I posted about it, and it's the think model. It's, first of all, you mentioned about opinion. Everybody's got one. You don't have to believe it, and if you're fixed, you will believe it. You're like, oh, that's the way it's going to be. But if you have a growth mindset, is it first true? So question it, be curious. Is what that person's saying, or is what's just happened true? Yeah, and then it's a case of then fixing some honesty to it. Be honest with yourself. We talked about radical honesty a while ago. But being radically honest with yourself, is that really the way it is? Or can it be changed?
Honesty is hard.
It is. And then, of course, inspire, talk to yourself in inspiring ways. Think about your language, think about your lingo, your inner voice, and just make sure that you're trying to talk to yourself in an inspiring way, an uplifting way, and don't see every suffering as a dead end. And then, of course, you've got are your thoughts necessary? Yeah, so be very careful, be aware of what's going in there, because sometimes you aren't aware, and you can manifest a lot of negativity and then become fixed as a result. And then finally, kindness, which is massive. Kindness is key. Make sure you're kind to yourself, even in the darker days, even in the lower moments. Don't be afraid to be kind to yourself. It's okay to make a mistake. It's okay to get it wrong. It's okay to see it a different way, but don't get fixed on a bad outcome, because everything can be changed if you just learn to keep an open mind. Yes.
It's and about with the being honest with yourself, like for me, like it you hear a lot of people blaming themselves, and blame's a big thing within our culture. And it's something that I sit and observe, and I either hear people blaming someone else, right, or they blame themselves. But honesty is about but honesty is about like going, I take responsibility for this bit, but that bit was out of my control.
Well, precisely, and that brings me into some of like the locus of control. It's the internal world versus the outer world. Is you got to remember some things you can't control, some things you can, and just be more mindful of what you can control, and those things you can't, don't worry about them. You can't influence them. You can't control how people think. You can't control how people behave necessarily. But you can control how your mind is functioning from minute to minute, hour to hour. So it's really, really important. But I was saying to you the other day about the awareness and how important awareness is. And until you've become aware, you can't really change your mindset, and you'll always stay fixed if you don't be aware. So awareness is a massive changing point.
So would you say, like, if someone's listening today and they're like, I'm not quite sure if I'm fixed or if I'm growth mindset, but
right, good question.
If I am fixed, what do I do to start moving into this growth mindset? Like, what do I actually need to do?
I would say, journaling's a big one, so in writing it down, but I think it's just a case of just sitting with yourself. That's why meditation and mindfulness can be really, really important. It's just sitting with yourself a little bit and just seeing what's going on in your head. It has to be quiet, it has to be peaceful, where you can observe your thoughts, but don't challenge them. Just they're there, observe them, be aware of them, and explore them. See what's there, you know, what's attached to them, where they're coming from. Yeah, again, are they true or are they distorted from just the way the mind works? Because with the mind, obviously, is something that will always first go for defense, so it'll go for survival. And so it's important that you're aware of that, and try and, again, by being aware, you can say to yourself when those things happen, you're aware of your thoughts. Okay, very, very important. And when it comes to, like, you know, I don't know, let's say a negative thought or something, not judging it, just going, fair enough, I see you, and then we'll start to reframe it. And that's another exercise I would talk about, reframing.
Yeah, say you're big on, like, from chatting to you, because we're good friends.
We are.
Pivot. That's one of your favorite little sayings, is, and I've stolen it, I have to say, but like, pivot. Yeah. So what would you like? I think that comes in with like reframing a little bit.
It is. If, you know, if let's focus on something that's not so good. Let's say, you know, a circumstance is not kind of worked out in your favor. It's a case of just making sure that, again, being aware, you go to yourself, right, something bad's happened. Okay, it's not the end of the world, and let's have a look at ways or opportunities in where we can take it from here. Yeah, there's got to be a way out of this. And it's a case of, again, if you're aware and you open your mind, if you're not, you'll miss that opportunity. So pivoting away from it, pivoting out of it, and again, not seeing it as a a dead end. So pivoting is really, really, really important. It really is.
So can you give me an example of when you have pivoted? Because I know that you do it quite
recently, like the injury I've had, playing football or soccer and walking on the field. I rolled my ankle. There was no tackle or anything, and straight away, like, my mind wanted to get self-pity and go down to that self-loathing side of things, where it's like, oh my God, what the hell's happened? And, oh, I shouldn't have come today, and etc. etc. And I just pivoted at it and went, you know what, it's happened. Let's just go with the flow. Let's not worry too much about the stress of it. I've had that battle all this time for the last 4 weeks, where I've had my mind trying to tell me, like, it's a disaster, and it's like, oh my God, it's meltdown. I've just pivoted out it and gone, you know what, part of the journey, something that I'm learning from, and I only get stronger from it. And that's the thing. That's how you pivot right there.
For sure. But I mean, I do think personally, like, we're all different, but like, you do need to feel the emotion, though. You can't block it.
Do.
So, because I hear so much about, positivity and all this, and sometimes it can be toxic positivity, because sometimes you just need to feel and have a cry and get angry, and then you can pivot, but you can't do it until you've felt those feelings first.
It's so true. It's so true. It's so true. You've got to feel them. I think what happens to people is they either get set on it and then can't see anything else. Again, get fixed on it. That's how it's going to be all the time. Or second, they're in fear of the feeling. They want to avoid it. But if you learn to just, when it comes in, don't be afraid of it. Kind of label it, or kind of put a name on it. That is jealousy, or it's anger, or it's frustration, or it's sadness, whatever it is. Allow yourself to feel it, and then say to yourself, it's only temporary. Just ride the wave and it'll come out. And that's how you got to do. You got to learn to suffer a little bit, and embrace the suffering too. Embrace the those feelings, and you'll find over time that you'll start to absorb them, and they won't control you anymore. They won't control you.
I think, I totally agree, and I just think it's changed my life by just going, I did the same thing. I had I'm currently a ski instructor, was and then had a ski accident at work, so that's resulted of, like, I flew out to Canada, dream to go to Canada, fell over, and it's resulted in me having surgery on my own in a foreign country, not too foreign, but you know what I mean. Other side of the world from family, and
hard, hasn't it, for you?
It's that's the real up and downs. But the other thing I would say with a growth mindset versus fixed mindset, I think a growth mindset is being open and able to ask for help as well.
Oh, lovely, yes.
you can't do it all on your own. And I think the fixed mindset was very much, oh, I've got to hide that I've got a weakness here, that like I can't ask for that help. I'm just going to struggle on my own. And I think
very true. But you know, we term that in coaching as being vulnerable. Don't be vulnerable from time to time. Don't be afraid. If it goes wrong, if it's not happening for you, do ask for help. If you don't ask for help, then you're going to get more stuck, you get more fixed, and that's you're just going to stay in that situation. So it's a very, very important point that you've just made, is to learn to keep sense of community. You know, talk to people, let people know, and it's difficult though, because people will still, even if they don't want to, sometimes they just get fixed on the old behaviors, the old patterns, the old habits, and then they control people. And that's why working with somebody like myself or yourself, Lexi, in the future, it can help just again build that awareness, build those awareness muscles and those mindset muscles, and be in control of your life and be in control of situations. But I think they talk about breathing being important. You know, how you can slow your breathing down to a point where, again, you can kind of feel everything and you can kind of experience everything, and you can really you know, I guess what would I say here? Not transform yourself, but you can escape situations that you'd never would be able to before, because you slow. What happens is when things tend to happen, bad things happen, we tend to get very the heart rate goes high, anxiety comes in, and we get all really stressed about stuff. If we learn to slow down, we'll be able to we can learn to deal with situations far better and feel those emotions, like you say, which are important. And then when it comes again, you'll not be scared of it. You'll be okay. You'll know what it feels like, and you'll be able to deal with it, and you'll have control over it. I think that's the big thing here, is just making sure that you're in control.
Yeah, and also just what you were saying just then. For anything like mindset or working along this, it's any relationship or anything like that, it's all practice. It's like going to the gym and working a muscle, and you'll have heard this so many times because like I've read it, but yeah, it's like working your brain is a muscle, and it's kind of working.
And the other way of looking at it is intention, is be intentional about it, is take conscious effort to this stuff. You're not just going to wake up and go, oh, I can think really well now and I can think myself out of situations. It doesn't work like that. It's like a habit. It takes us a while to get into that kind of flow, and you know, make a few mistakes with it as well. You know, come in, negative thought will come in, and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm aware of it, but I can't get rid of it. Reframe it, think of it differently. You know, don't be afraid of it, like I say, and then intentionally try and change it over time, and it will. You've got to be intentional about it. Very, really important.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm going to say something that might go against you a little bit, actually.
Yeah, okay.
The key to life, there's no right or wrong way to live life. So like, we're not here to start preaching, and that's one thing I really want to make clear, because I got a bit obsessed when I first got into like this like personal development and growth. I'm like, oh, I'm not living life right, I'm doing it wrong. But actually there's no wrong or right way. I just got totally obsessed with it. But life is about experiences, and that's kind of what the growth mindset in essence is about as well, is each time, what can I learn from this experience, but I've got to live my life at the same time. So it's like,
agreed. That's right. Yeah, it is exactly. And I think that's where, you know, where growth mindset is. I think some people are scared to have a growth mindset sometimes. I mean, that is something that I see too regularly. Like, don't want to be different. But I would definitely encourage people to start working on that and thinking to themselves, well, if I keep doing what everybody else keeps doing, I'll keep getting the same results as everybody else. Learn to change, learn to be different, and work on your values as well. You know, work on your values. What's important to you? Where do you want to be? And if I said this before to you, but if you was to be walk out of a room and people were to talk about you, how would you like them to talk about you? Yeah, how would you like to be perceived by other people? And I think that's the important thing. Is there's no point in getting fixed on, oh, you know what, I can't do it, and I'm not that kind of person. Well, have that growth mindset and have that open-mindedness to go, let's see where it takes us. You mentioned experiences. Let's see how we can change things. And I think sometimes even working with a coach, like I say, can really help, is because a coach can give guidance, direction, and stuff like that, and actually ask you questions that spark curiosity, so you can explore things. So very, very, very important. And that's why also, you mentioned the thing about ego and stuff. Is that's why I was going to say about the other model as well, is the 4Gs that I've mentioned before. Is always make sure you ground yourself, which is make sure you know where you come from, even if you some people don't like where they come from, or some people think that they're kind of, well, I won't say above people, but some people think to themselves, well, I can't, I'm like everybody else, but I can go into like this I don't know how to explain it right now, but going back onto it, grounded, ground yourself. Then I would say give to yourself, self-care, look after yourself, journal, explore your mindset a little bit, figure that out. Then after you've done that, after you've filled your own cup up and you're pouring out, then give it to other people, serve others. And then finally, your favorite one of all, gratitude. And they all say that gratitude is a massive, massive counter stressor to, to stress. So if you're stressed out and you're not feeling very good, or you feel like life's getting hold of you, have a bit of gratitude, just a little bit. But you've got to do it genuinely. You've got to feel it properly. You can't just think, oh, I'm gonna fake it, that sort of thing. No, you've got to be genuine about it. And when you're thinking it, make sure you feel it, and you like have that desire with you, which is like, I am like literally, I am so grateful for, I don't know, we're waking up today, or the people I've got around me, or my family, or whatever it might be, or going to work and earning money. Be genuinely grateful for life, and you'll find that you'll get massive results. But again, you got to be aware.
Sure. But like, I mean, a couple of things there. You're on about like changing into the growth mindset, but for anyone listening right now and going, oh, well, I can't, you deserve it. You deserve all the love in the world. In case no one's ever told you that you deserve to be different, or not different, just to know yourself better. You deserve love. And in case you and the other thing, like just building on from what you were saying, is I've spoken to people and they've gone, gratitude, what have I got to be grateful for? Now I went, look, you're walking right now. Like, I've seen so many people. This is when I'm down in pub having a pint, and I'm like, look, we're sat here having a pint right now. Like, we can afford it. We've got some clothes on. You going home to a bed. You might take a takeaway home, whatever it is.
Precisely.
And that's the thing with gratitude. Start small, and you'll start making a huge list. It's not the big things. I think that's one thing I learned from skiing and teaching skiing, is that we all look at the big things, but it's little steps, little movements. And you tell me about consistency. Don't rely on that motivation. It's about consistency.
Oh, now you're opening a big one. Don't worry. That is a big one. When it comes to the opposite to mindset, motivation, everybody's like, oh, I don't feel motivated today. Get your mindset right, and regardless of motivation, you'll do the right thing, even if you don't want to do it. Trust me, it's important.
Yeah.
Do not rely on motivation ever, never. Enjoy it when it's there, by all means, but don't enjoy it too much, because it will dip. It will dip at some stage, whether that's fatigue, sleep deprivation, a moment that's just not happened your way, whatever it may be. Motivation will dip, but mindset will make a difference. The mindset.
It does. I'm still yet to master that one. I do rely on motivation. It's not easy to
master. It's not easy to master. It really isn't. Yeah. That's because another thing that I like to say when I'm coaching people on mindset, I always I've got it written down here that one of the things I shared mid this month, mid-May, was something that I a process that I take people through, is no matter what happens in your life, start with your mindset. Work with a mindset coach like myself, or with you, or somebody that knows kind of what they're talking about a little bit. Work with your mindset. Do a little bit of work on that. Then intentionally work with your mindset. But then what do you want to change, and what do you want to what do you want to? Sorry, I had a bit of an alert there saying I'm running out of time. There we are. But no, intention is where once you want to change your mindset and you're able to, is where would you like it to go? and be intentional about it. Yeah. Then you've got your goals and strategy, which are very, very important, because if it's a bit like, as they say, where focus goes, energy flows. The same with goals. And obviously, we all try and there's this common denominator that, well, I can only achieve my goals if I'm motivated. Forget the motivation. Always go back to the mindset, and you will be able to constantly churn away at those goals, whether the good moments or the bad moments. You'll get there. Trust me. Yeah. Then obviously having a strategy is important. So you have structure. I mean, Brendan Bouchard talks about it all the time. Having a bit of a strategy, and having something to aim for, and then execution. Take action on it. And even if you got the right mindset, even if you get it wrong, you won't go far. You won't collapse. You won't deteriorate. You won't anything like that. You'll pivot and you'll go a different way. You'll go for the same target, but you'll do it differently. And again, that's mindset. And then of course, reflection. But that's when I say reflect, reset, refocus. Is don't be afraid when things are not going very well. Be aware, breathe, slow your breathing down, come back in and go, right, let's restart. Yeah, let's reflect first. Let's reset, refocus, and pivot into a different place, but go in the same direction as you wanted to before.
It's awesome. Yeah, I'm just. We could talk all day, talk all day. Honestly, we could, but we just wanted to give you guys a little bit of a taster of what we do and what this is just like our normal conversation when we WhatsApp. It really is.
And things are only going to get better for us. This is going to get better and better. This is like the first time we've done this together, so it'll get better.
And I just really appreciate anyone that's tuned in, had a listen. Just, if you do want any help, get in touch with us, but also just keep living that amazing life and just being your beautiful self. That's all I would say. And
and
give us some feedback.
Please do. We're open to feedback, even if it's not very good feedback. Let us know, because this is something new. We want to do this for a long, long time. There's no cost to it at all as well. We're hopefully going to put the show onto YouTube as well at some stage, where we can actually have a little bit more of a live situation going on. But again, with growth mindset, with me and Lexi was talking about this, and we said there's no expectation here. We're going to go in, we're going to get vulnerable, we're going to go and talk, we're going to have a bit of fun. Although, sometimes when you talk about this stuff, we get a bit geeky and serious with it, but there is a fun streak to it too as well, and it will come. But like I said, there's a lot of things we can offer, but we also want your feedback. We want you to comment, and we want you to interact with us, and that's the important thing here too. We're here to help you and serve you, and hopefully, not necessarily transform you, but make your life better, or help you to find the better version of yourself over time. That's what we're here for.
Yeah. I'm buzzing, man. So
of course.
Excited.
Let me play
thank you for listening, and I hope you tune into the next one, because that's going to be Juicy June. So
Juicy June. Oh, that sounds good.
June.
Nice.
Have an awesome evening.
Thanks everybody for coming in. Make sure you're at the next one. Don't miss out. Enjoy June, guys. It's June tomorrow. Okay. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye. See you soon.